Okay, today is April 28th, 2016, and we're watching the western U.S. water vapor loop. And today we can see that this weather system has moved slightly to the east. And this is the system that they called it a dry storm on the television news last night. And on Channel 9, KCAL 9, last night they were trying to explain why these systems don't deliver rain when they move through California, and they were using the excuse that when the system moves in over land, it can't pick up any water vapor, much like a hurricane. But this is not a hurricane. That's true with hurricanes, but what we're seeing here is not a hurricane. And the other part of this problem is that they don't explain why we don't get any rain in California, but yet when this system moves just a bit to the east, suddenly it's full of moisture. And we still have a transmitter on top of this system, but that transmitter is preventing this system from developing and delivering rain around around the back side here. We have plenty of moisture, but none of that's getting into Southern California. We do have some cloudy skies today, and I haven't seen any aerosols being sprayed yet, but we had basically 10 minutes of rain last night, if you want to call it that. It was just a heavy dew, barely got the ground wet. But the point is that television weather is not giving us the truth. These storms are being followed by a transmitter as they move down. We saw that yesterday. And as it moves out to the east, they allow these to rebuild, as what we're seeing right here. This is actually strengthening and rebuilding. At the same time, they're preventing rain from falling over California. We can see that transmitter right here. The outline of that RF is heating all this air. Also, we have a separate channel of dry air from a radar right here, and we'll take a look at that in the rainbow loop here. And that is preventing this moisture flow, this high-speed moisture flow, from moving right in and feeding that system. So we have this channel all the way through here, which is blockading all this moisture that's moving east. It's just a dead ending right here. Now, there's a second storm. This is the one that went through about 4 days ago. That was also came through California. That's up here, and then there's a channel. They're separating these two systems from each other right through here. They have a channel built out right here, and also this way, vertically. So none of those systems are going to merge together, at least so far yet. All right, here's the bigger picture, the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. And we can see a developing storm over here, and then this big moisture field that's moving right towards Oregon and California. All right, so the question to Rich Fields and Channel 9 and all those weathercasters is why are these allowed to rebuild once they move away from California? This is all over the land. We had a dry storm. They called it a dry storm. It moves down. It doesn't deliver any rain into the Southern California area, and once it moves away, and suddenly we have a huge storm that is plowing a path of destruction through the middle part of the country, much like the previous one and several others. Okay. Plus, there's a lot of chemtrail spraying going on offshore. We can see that in the right out here. We can see that in the SSEC map. Let's take a look at that here in a second. Now this is the close-up image, the west central infrared image. We can see a lot of manipulation going on here. We have a clockwise rotation occurring right here in the center of this low pressure system that should be a tight spiral. And right here we're seeing clockwise rotation. That's from the descending air, the transmitter heating that core. Also we have earlier today, about 4 hours ago, we had a right angle. Here we can see the geometric shape. There's some of that left over. All right, and there's a lot of turbulence right over Utah and Nevada. Let's take a look at this in the rainbow loop. Now, this core is being tampered with, and we can see the evidence of that in this area here, and also by the odd geometric shape on that core. That's not natural. It should be a spiral. Okay, here's the geostationary satellite image of the water vapor loop, and we can see the aerosols being sprayed through here, and also down here and over by the Hawaiian Islands down over here. All right. Now, let's take a look next at the Hawaiian Islands, the Central Pacific view. We have some interesting stuff going on. We have a thunderstorm, a series of thunderstorms down here being blown apart. We can see the blast pattern right here along that edge, right along here. They're blowing those apart with microwaves. They hit the core with microwave energy, and that superheats the core. All that water vapor is superheated, and it expands very rapidly, and we have this pattern that shows up, and then we see the entire system just implodes, and that's it until the next system pops up. Let's take a look at this in the this is the water vapor loop, and we can see that blast pattern all through here. Right here, this one just disappears. So they're targeting these. If we look at this now in the this is the visible light mode, visible loop, and if we let's just run this for a second, and when this loop transitions from night to day, right down in this area, we'll see some rings, some concentric rings, half circles that move away from the blast points. Now, what's happening is that these the people generating these maps at the NOAA are placing overlays, photoshopping the cores right in here with an overlay, so we cannot see the dimples being left by the transmitters. So that's an event, it's an effort to cover up, to conceal the evidence, is what I'm trying to say. But those are being targeted, and what I'll do here, I'm going to stop the loop, and we'll just walk through it. And so the areas down in where is that, right here, these are being targeted cores, and that's where we see these rings moving away from the core. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We will keep an eye on this system as it moves to the east, and that is definitely being tampered with, that system right there. And it's regained quite a bit of strength as it's moved away from California. You know, if this had come down the coast in this condition here with this strength, we would have had a lot of rain. So the question to Rich Fields is, why do these storms come down the coast in a dry configuration and then move slightly to the east, and suddenly they generate a lot of rain for other states? That's the question. Okay, that's it. We'll do another update later.